welcome to another edition of the Old Paratrooper podcast, a podcast designed to talk to ordinary people with extraordinary stories, all with the main goal of raising awareness for positive mental health across the board. If you haven't already, please go to the YouTube channel and subscribe. It helps massively with pushing the positive messages that we're trying to push. Today's guest is pro boxer, pro bantamweight boxer, Sasha Booker. How you doing, Sasha? All right?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Yourself?
Yeah, not bad at all. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for taking the time to come on. I really, really appreciate it. I'm sure, as we've just spoken off here, you've had a particular hard session this morning, fighting out of the lion's den under the watchful eye, evil eye of Sam Goodrum, head coach. Thank you very much for taking the time to come on.
No worries at all. Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure, mate.
No dramas. Right, what I like to do with all the podcasts, as I'm sure you're more than aware, I like to start at the beginning, bit about kind of where you grew up, what you were like as a kid, and basically ultimately down the route that you took into boxing. So yeah, over to you.
Yeah, so basically born and bred, Stapleford, Nottingham, a little town. School was probably up and down for me. Like I was always clever and got the grades, but I was probably a bit of a tearaway. In with the wrong crowds. Just getting up to no good. I spent a lot of time playing football growing up. That was my main interest, and I was playing 4 or 5 times a week and got to a decent level at that, to the point where I was like playing trials for Notts County and Forest and along them lines. But I think when I hit sweet 16, it kind of started to fizzle out a little bit, and as soon as I hit 18, then the pubs and the clubs and the usual route took over. So yeah, you have to. It's one of them, isn't it? When you're doing that kind of thing, when you're growing up like that, you have to give it all up. And when you see all your friends like doing everything that you can't, it's hard to stay focused. But
It's a bit of a difficult one, isn't it? Because obviously you've got that natural growing up bit of wanting to go out with your mates, go out drinking. It's a normal thing, but the discipline of a professional sport, it's like, what do you give up? And I don't know, I've spoke to a lot of people. I have a lot of friends that were involved in football or boxing, which take a lot of dedication, and you can't sit in hindsight. It's a beautiful thing. Looking back, the whole being on the lash and being with your mates is like insignificant in comparison, but it is what it is, isn't it? And it's just the way it goes, I suppose.
Yeah, it's just you look back with like it's catch-22. I don't look back with much regret, because if it weren't for everything that's gone off in my life, I wouldn't be where I am today. So in that aspect, I'd never really changed much, but you just think, yeah, I probably screwed up an opportunity there. But you never know. You never know how these things are going to go. So you can't think what if all the time. You just got to focus on where you are now, haven't you?
No, of course you have. No, it is. And like I say, if you'd gone down that route, you might have made professional footballer. It might have been a couple of years, might have fizzled out. But I'm a big believer in fate, and I'm a big believer in the route that you take in life is the route that it's meant to be. So obviously for you, that was kind of, as we'll come on to in a bit, is obviously the kind of boxing kind of scene, professional boxing scene, everything else. Back to kind of school. I get that a lot, from people that kind of move into kind of professional sports, or certainly boxing as well. They talk a lot about didn't really get on with school, bit of a tear away, bit of like, wasn't right for them. And I talk about this a lot on a lot of the podcasts. Schooling's meant for a certain type of people. There's probably 60% of the population that follow the whole schooling system, and they do really well out of it. They thrive in the schooling system. But there's that percentage of people that kind of, they don't. But that's not to say that they're bad or they're thick, or which is a lot of labels that get banded around. They just learn in different ways, and they have like kind of specialities in different avenues. And obviously that's proving, kind of for yourself, that's kind of a big point, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. At school, don't get me wrong, like I got all my grades, even though I messed about half the time. If I put my mind to it, I probably could have done a hell of a lot better and come out with like A's. But I just scraped through with C's and B's, but without even trying. So it was like I had the talent there, but that for me, school never interested me in that respect. I was more of a hands-on person. I learn by doing things, and then like for them, it's stick in my head. But if someone tells me a story and then asks me to repeat that story 10 minutes later, it's gone. It just kind of goes in one ear out the other. Do you know what I mean? So for me, yeah, I learned quickly that doing things, doing it practically myself, that was a more for me. And as soon as I left school, I went straight into apprenticeships and plumbing, and ended up roofing with my dad, and just proper hands-on jobs. Do you know what I mean? Like, so not a classroom environment isn't for me. Like an office job would never ever suit me. I can't. I don't like to be sat indoors, stuck indoors in one room all day. It's just not. Yeah, my attention span isn't made for that.
Yeah, and again, this is the point I always try and make is it's like, and the schooling system doesn't take that into account. It kind of it goes with people that they follow a curriculum, and like I say, a lot of people follow it a little bit like sheep, and I don't mean that in a kind of derogatory way, but like a lot of people follow it because it's the right thing to do or it's the way it is. But there is so many people out there that could be really good at practical stuff, and it's not nurtured enough at school. I harp on about this a lot, and once you get past that schooling bit, you look back in hindsight and you realize that I'm a prime example of that. I was rubbish at school, left school with no qualifications. The same as what you've just said there. I learned practically. If you show me something practically, I will pick it up. But if you sit to me in
Yeah,
a classroom and talk to me about something that I'm really not interested about, it literally goes in here and comes out here. So yeah, no, I recognize what you're saying there. So yeah, out of school, kind of finished school. Did you go on to college or do A levels or anything like that? Or
no, I went straight into work. I think even my first job was at McDonald's full time. And then that didn't suit me. So I ended up going back to college, but it was when I was like 19, and that's when I did my level 1 and 2 plumbing courses. Got on really well with that, really enjoyed it. But to get onto my level 3, I needed an apprenticeship. I got through to a couple, and one of them promised to take me on, and then it all just kind of fizzled out, and that was that opportunity gone because I didn't have £3,000 for the course. So it was kind of just, I think that's when I started to move into roofing with my dad, because that's like the family business kind of thing. It's what my dad and his brothers and my granddad have always done. So it's what known to them. Yeah, I did roofing for about 4 years. That took a massive toll on my body. I'm not gonna lie, for a fit young girl, lugging around 50 kilo rolls of felt and material and stuff. Yeah, it soon realised that it wasn't for me.
yeah, it's one of them, and you go into, and I say it a lot again, like you go into the trades, whether male or female, you've got to look at the longevity of kind of that industry. I mean, there's loads of work about, but do you really want to be doing that when you're in your 50s and your 60s? I mean, there's a lot of money
Exactly.
to be had from the building trade, brickying, roofing, electrician, everything else, but it's a graft. It's a proper graft, and it takes its toll on your body. Like we spoke before, and I know obviously you were kind of around 40-50 kilo, which is it's tiny in the grand scale of things. And if you're humping tiles and your rolls of felt onto a roof, at some point something's got to give, hasn't it?
Mm. Yeah, well, my back gave eventually, and ended up having to have MRI scans and all sorts. And yeah, it kind of just got. I was like walking around like an 80-year-old woman at 21 years old. I was like, this something's got to give. Do you know what I mean? So, and it is well. Like, everyone thinks, oh yeah, it's dead nice in summer, but it's too hot because you've got no shade. You're literally under the sun 24 hours, like, or for however long you're on the roof. And nowadays, the health and safety that's in there, obviously, you've got to be fully dressed, you've got to have hard hat on, and it's not a nice environment to be in. In winter, it's absolutely freezing. You're just shoveling snow off the roof, and your fingers, you can't feel them. So I was just like, yeah, not for me.
No,
I love working outside, but yeah, it was one extreme to another in that job.
Yeah, no, I actually did roofing for probably, I'm going to say about 2 months when I was about 16 years of age. When I realised, I was like, yeah, it's not really what. Look, I'm a big bloke. But no, it wasn't for me. I don't know whether it was the element of graft. That's probably, I'm not going to lie and make up that there's a lot of graft involved. I'm not shy of grafting, just in something that I probably
Yeah,
enjoy, and that probably wasn't
yeah,
for me. But
exactly.
so kind of moving forward, obviously kind of still at a young age, where did you go from kind of like the roofing side of things?
I ended up in engineering and fabricating company for about 5 years, 4 or 5 years. Started in the factory. That's what I mean. I like doing things with my hands and seeing the end product, and you know what I mean. Things you can like appreciate your work and stuff like that. So yeah, I ended up there, and then I passed my driving test while I was there, and then they put me on the road, doing deliveries up and down the country, which I absolutely loved. I just took to it straight away. I love being on the road. I think it was the novelty of just passing your test and being able. I was seeing all across the country for free. Do you know what I mean? It was insane, really. I was really lucky in that way. But that eventually started to grind you down when you've been on the road for 12 hours a day and you're stuck in a traffic jam and you're 2 minutes away from home, but it's taking you 3 hours.
Yeah.
Obviously, the roads are just getting busier and busier now, and I was in London virtually nearly every other day, if not every day, doing deliveries. And obviously, it's chaotic down there. When you're in a big van, it can become quite stressful.
No, I quite believe it. It's like it's a good point. It's like, you go back years ago and the roads were dead quiet, but now I see lorry drivers like driving around, or van drivers and stuff, and I think, how do they do it? Because the roads are never clear, never ever clear, are they? It is literally whatever time of day. I remember as a kid, and you probably will too. My mum and dad used to set off. We used to go to Cornwall every year, like, for years and years. You set off at 4 o'clock in the morning. You wouldn't see a car on the road till probably 7 o'clock in the morning.
No,
You go out at 4 o'clock in the morning,
yeah,
wherever you are, there are cars on the road, and it's busy, isn't it?
yeah, yeah, and especially with all like the road works that you've got
That's,
going on throughout the day and throughout the night. You're lucky to get above 50 mile an hour these days, aren't you, to get anywhere?
mate,
It's just
honestly,
yeah,
there's roadwork, and they seem to put the fucking roadworks in wherever they want. They put like roadworks in that are going to inconvenience people at the same time. But they go, oh no, I'll do this main road, and then I'll do all the other roads off it as well. It's just, I don't know what the logic is in that. It's absolute bollocks. But yeah,
yeah. The council have got nothing. Yeah, they don't know what they're doing, do they? It's just like they are. Yeah, let's just inconvenience this certain time today.
it would appear that way, definitely. Yeah, no, definitely. So yeah, let's move on to your kind of your kind of boxing career, because obviously we spoke before, we talked about boxing. It wasn't something that was on your kind of radar, perhaps something that you wanted to do, and then lockdown hit, and it kind of, that's where it kind of, the seed kind of grew. Is that, if probably the best way of putting it?
Yeah, definitely. Like, so I've always been an active person. I hate being stuck indoors. So for lockdown, for me, it was really, really tough. Even I'm not one to go out clubbing and partying and stuff like that. That's not what I miss. But it was just going out for a nice meal, or just popping and seeing your friends, anything like that, your family. And it weren't long after I lost my nonna as well, so it was a pretty tough time. Um, I just I'm a relatively all round chill person 9 times out of 10. Do you know what I mean? It takes a lot to like wind me up. Yeah, lockdown just it just switched something in me, and I was just waking up angry all the time, going to sleep angry. It didn't help that my neighbour was a knobhead blasting his music all day, every day. I think that kind of eventually built up and built up. You don't mind at the weekend or here and there, but when it's every day, it just like ground me down. And yeah, ended up in a little bit of a ding dong on the drive with him one afternoon.
So that's where your
I was
boxing
like, at
career
that
really
point,
started then, is that right?
yeah, yeah, because I was like, I can't. I was like, I'm gonna end up getting arrested if I carry on. Like, I just need to just chill and like sort this anger out, because it's not me either. Do you know what I mean? I didn't like it. That's not who I am. So I was like, I booked in a 1-to-1 with Sam on the Lions Den page, and I came out of there. Well, I virtually crawled out of there after my first 1-to-1, as you can imagine what Sam's like. I gave it the big one on the message as well to the club, like, yeah, I want to fight. I don't want to mess about. So he was like, yeah, here we go. We'll see if she's actually gonna like put it in. And yeah, he made sure his wife checked on me when I got home after my first session, because I couldn't even put my foot on the clutch.
Hey, I can
So
totally
yeah,
relate.
still went back for more.
Yeah, well, I can totally relate to where you're coming from. Again, like I think we crossed over a little bit. I think you were fighting out at the gym, or I bumped into you a few times. I've definitely seen some of your kind
Yeah,
of bits and bobs. But I fought out of Lions Den for a few years, and I was like 38 years of age when I really got into it with Sam. And look, I was quite a fit guy. I've always been a fit guy, but you know, some of them sessions that Sam, you know more as well as anyone. They are literally. I felt like I've been run over by a truck. I was like, what am I doing to myself here? Putting myself,
yeah.
and he
It
gets some.
makes you question
I know,
yourself,
and
doesn't
he
it?
gets some sort of sadistic. I'm telling you now, like, and he will see this, and I know he will see this. He gets some sort of sadistic kind of pleasure out of beasting people, but I I understand why he does it. He wants the best fighters, and do you know what? Through I go limited career on the unlicensed scene. It wasn't anything special, but the fitness and the punishing stuff that Sam put me through, and I'm not a great boxer at all by any great shakes, but the fitness that you rely on and what Sam put me through was what enabled me to achieve what I was able to achieve, you know. So I kind of, you must understand where I'm coming from, where he does that, and the trenches that he kind of
Yeah,
puts you into to kind of push you and everything else.
yeah. 100%. Like everything he does is with me, especially training wise, because obviously I'm there twice a day, sometimes 3 times a day, 5, 6 times a week. Um, and Sam will put as much time and effort into you as you will him. Like he'll always, do you know what I mean, give you back what you put in. But it's all mental with Sam. Like if he can break you in the gym, someone's gonna break you in the ring. Like that's the kind of mentality he'll look at. And if yeah, like people don't understand that. Oh yeah, you're just hitting someone in the ring, but 90% of that boxing is mental. Like you've got to have your head in the right frame of mind, and you've got to be fit enough. You don't realise how fit you have to be, even for just 2 minute round, just 1 2 minute round when someone's coming at you, and people hitting you as well. That's tiring, even if you're not doing anything. Someone hitting you will take it out of you eventually. But yeah, I thought I was fit when I used to play football at the top of my game, and it was absolutely, I was shocked. It was nothing on that. Uh, Even some of the sessions I do now, I think, oh, what on earth? I feel like I'm meant to be getting fitter, but it's not that I'm not getting fitter. He's just making it harder every time.
Yeah. No, I can
Uh,
relate. And I walked into that gym as a former soldier and, you know, as a firefighter and everything else. And I thought I had a good level of fitness. And I'd done bits before, you know, and I'm proud of the fact that how fit I've been. But people don't understand, do they, what boxing fitness, this fit, and I always say it as well, that this football fit, and I'm quite honest about that as well. You know, when I was in the military, I was super fit, and then I came out the military. I was on leave, and someone offered to say, "Oh, do you want to play a game of five-a-side?" And I was like, "Oh, yeah, I'll play five-a-side. I can run this, I can do this, I can carry." I played a game of five-a-side, and literally my groin the next day and my hamstrings, I was in bits. So it is kind of, it's horses for courses, isn't it? It's and certainly boxing fitness. I know a lot of people that have gone into the boxing game and thought, I'm a fit person. Boxing fitness is next level, isn't it?
yeah, it gives you a different perspective, definitely. I've never known anything like it, to be honest. Even it don't even matter like how fit you are. You can be totally ready, but on fight night, it's completely different with your adrenaline and all your emotions that are going. It's insane. Like I said, that's why I say it's all mental. So you have to really control all that. your breathing is the main thing you've got to control in that ring. Because if you lose it, especially after a good body shot, you know about it, don't you? And you just go into that panic mode. So your breathing and your fitness is the most important thing when it comes to getting in that ring.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've mentioned I've had kind of Shane Mosley on. I've had him on the podcast. I've had Johnny Nelson on. I've had Maxie Hughes on. And we all talk about the same thing when it comes to boxing. It's like you can be as fit. Well, obviously, when you've done if you've done a proper camp, which you will know, and obviously I know the training that Sam puts on you, and I know that you're more than fit enough to carry on for 6, 7, 8, 9 rounds if you needed to. But the thing is, it's the adrenaline bit, isn't it? You know, and you'll hopefully you'll agree with me. How many times you've gone in there knowing that you're fit enough, but you've done couple of warm-up rounds on the pads and you're like, oh my God, I am breathing out my arse here. I don't even think I can go into the ring. And it's that adrenaline bit, isn't it? It's like an adrenaline dump.
Yeah, definitely. Like I can get a stitch warming up and I'm thinking, what's going on? Like, I've got a rat stitch. And someone's like, calm down. You just need to relax. I'm like, I can't relax. He hates me the day of a fight. He really does, because I'd probably get in my head and come like for my debut. Oh my God, he's never. I've always been nervous. I don't really get nervous in camp or anything like that. But my first pro debut, my debut, it was different. Like I think the amount of pressure that I put on myself and that I felt like that was on my shoulders, especially being with it being a really strong opponent as well, and a very, very, very experienced opponent that comes to win. Was I definitely stressed a lot about that. But once I'm in that ring, it kind of just melts away. As soon as that first minute's out of the way, like I kind of just relax into it a little bit, and all that worry and stress just goes out the window. But yeah, you can overthink it too much and do yourself your own worst enemy when it comes to that. Do you know what I mean? Because you know you're fit enough, you know you've put the work in, and Sam will constantly tell me that over and over. And sometimes after one round, I'll be like, I'm knackered. It's like, you're not knackered. It's in your head. You know you're physically fit enough. You know you could go. It was only the other day he had me doing a whole 20-minute round, no rest at all. It probably took me to the dark side. Like I was dying. But like if you can manage that, you didn't even have one rest in 20 minutes. Like you're absolutely fit enough to do 6 rounds easy. You can do it blindfolded. But when you're in there, yeah, if you let your mind take over, it just you feel overwhelmed with it. It's the same in sparring as well. You need to stay relaxed. It's all about staying relaxed and just focusing on yourself, not them. Like, yeah, it's completely different. It's crazy. I thought I was tired on my debut after the second or third round, but then I feel like the last 3 rounds were my best. Like I put more out, so it is all in your head.
No, 100%. It's mindset. It is, and it's that mindset. And obviously, your mindset's there because, like you say, you had trials for Forest. You know, kind of not scout, or you know, you looked at being potentially a professional footballer. So that mindset. Now, whatever sport you go into, the mindset. If you're going to be an elite athlete, the mindset's, in my opinion, is the same. You've got that drive. And everything else. I know it's a different sport, but you've got that drive to succeed. And look, getting into the ring is the most daunting process, and it's good. I like to talk to people that have shared that. I don't like kind of share my experiences the same as yours. You're a pro boxer. I was on the unlicensed scene. It's different. I know that, but it's good to talk to someone that can sort of relate to what you've been through, because it's like if you're not nervous before you go into a ring, you're either lying or you're psychotic, and I say that a lot, you know, because it is, and it's draining, it's horrible. And you know what I've seen, and I've talked about this quite a few times as well. You know how many people I've seen turn up for these unlicensed shows, do the weigh-in at maybe lunchtime or whatever it is, and then they've got like an 8-hour gap before they then fight. and the amount of people that never turn up for the fight because they talk themselves out of it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. Like I say, like everything's mental in that game, and it is a daunting thing. Like we've had lads at the club like that have signed up for a fight and backed out because they're nervous and it's just they like just like can't settle down with it and stuff. And it's nothing against no one. Like, it's tough. Like you don't realise how tough it is, and especially when the eyes are on you and the pressure's on you, and like if people are like for sponsors and people that have invested in you and stuff, like you feel like you've got to do them proud and stuff like that. But anyone who gets in that ring, fair play to them. Do you know what I mean? Like because it's not easy, and anyone at any level, I commend them because yeah, if it weren't for you got to start somewhere, haven't you? So if it weren't for the unlicensed and obviously then amateur boxing, that's how I started unlicensed, and I think I had 5 fights on the unlicensed, but it was really tough on the unlicensed because I was so skinny at that point because I'd only been with Sam. I think I had my first fight after 6 months with Sam. I was only 48 kilo, so trying to match me
Yeah.
at that my experience and that it was impossible. So even when I first started, he was like, "Oh, I've got a girl that's 40 kilo." People were like, "Oh yeah, I've got one. Mine's 11. I've got one. Mine's 12." Do you know what I mean? And Sam's like, "Mine's 30." Nah, it was really hard. So I ended up giving away weight sometimes on the unlicensed
Are
scene.
you quite tall?
But
Are you quite tall?
yeah, yeah, very tall for my weight. Really, I'm 5'8", 5'9", 5'9" ish,
So
maybe even
that
5'10".
it
So
like weight and reach and stuff. So that is kind of, but like you say, it's kind of matching kind of fighters, isn't it? Because that is like, and I know women's boxing is different from men's boxing with weight categories and stuff for obvious reasons, physiologically and stuff like that. But like to be 5'8", 5'9", and sort of around the 50 kg kind of region. Are you weighing in? What do you say about 53 at the minute? Is that what you kind of? Is that what you fight
yeah,
at as well?
I'm 54. I'm fighting at the minute. But I'm already on weight and stuff. Like I struggle. Like I said, I really struggle putting weight on. It's took me 3.5 years with Sam to get where I am now, and it's not like I've bang weight on. It's been gradually built with muscle, and that's how we've had to get it up. I'm putting weight on easier now with a good training program with Sam and his wife does my nutrition and stuff. So I really get looked after in that respect. But it's weights and the training that's built me up. Not even if I ate absolute crap for a whole week, I would not put a pound on.
Well, my heart
It's dead
bleeds for you,
weird.
Sasha. My heart
I know,
absolutely
I know.
bleeds for you. I have the opposite. Like I fought at heavyweight because there is no way in the world I could get down. You know what? People said to me a lot of the time I could have been quite a force at cruiser. But me trying to get down a cruiserweight 14 stone 4, I walk around at 17 and a half stone. So I really do feel for you
Yeah,
having to put on that weight. You know what I mean?
yeah. You say that, but I'm the opposite. Like I can, yeah, if I've got anything going on in life in general, stress, it drops off me.
Really?
So I have to be really careful with stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, when I was in the amateurs, I struggled getting above 52 kilogram.
Wow.
Like it, and it didn't matter even, like I say, what I ate that week and how much I trained. If I've got stress going on in my life, I just can't put weight on. I end up losing it. I could lose a stone in 2 weeks through stress, easy.
Wow.
I have to really be careful with that. I'm the total opposite, so it's really hard to put weight on, but really easy to lose it.
Well, what we'll do is
So yeah,
when you get to 40, we'll do another podcast and see if you still have the same problems.
yeah.
We'll see how that changes,
Yeah,
right?
say that. Yeah, she was always then she hit 4. I'm not saying anymore.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, she'll be hunting for you, no doubt. But no, it is, and like you say, people do struggle throughout, and you know, usually with the whole boxing thing, it's people kind of making weight the other way, isn't it? So, kind of, I do feel for you a little bit because it's obviously trying to get you matched and trying to obviously put on weight to get you in. But I'd say that's probably not a bad worry to have. Um, well, I don't know. I can say I've never had that problem. So, and I don't think I'll ever have that problem either. So, but no, fair play. So, obviously, going back a little bit, you come out of lockdown. Lockdown annoyed you. It did. It was a pain in the arse for everyone. People got frustrated and everything else. So you channeled that aggression into kind of boxing. Lions Den, Sam Goodrum, great coach, great boxing club. Where did you? So you started off. Did you go in the amateurs to start with? Then did you do a bit in the amateurs, or was it straight unlicensed and then pro? How did the kind of whole thing work?
So it was unlicensed first, just to obviously for Sam to see how I cope in the ring and how I deal with it. It's like a bit of a test, isn't it? Really, like you're testing the water with it. I went into the unlicensed. I think I did probably the best part of a year unlicensed, fighting on John Ashton's show. I won my first three. I got a draw, and then I got a loss at Motorpoint Arena, which was a bit hard to take, especially at Motorpoint Arena, the biggest one. But here we are. And then, but even with the girls that I was fighting, I was given experience away left, right, and centre because I obviously started late, and with my weight, it was really hard. So we just had to take the opponents that were there. I got quite lucky, and I knocked a few of them out in the first round.
That always helps. I find that always helps. That makes really easy night.
Yeah. It was an easy night's work, to be fair, that night. But that showed to Sam. But I had a couple of tough ones as well. Like someone that was a journeywoman and she'd been on the Bieber and all that and come back to the unlicensed scene, and she'd had 60, 70 fights. That was a good tear up and got my nose burst and stuff like that. But that showed Sam that I still had it. Do you know what I mean? Like I didn't give up no matter what was thrown at me. So that made us both realise that I'm good for the game. So we decided to enter into the amateurs because my style, the plan was always to go pro because of my height and my reach in my weight category. I am very tall for that weight, so I do, and I have. Sam's always saying how much I pack a punch for my weight as well. He's like, you hit really hard. So he's like, I think in your style, I think you'd suit pro quite well. But to do that, we needed to go in the amateurs. We needed to have a bit of amateur background and experience in that regard. So, we blasted out. I think it was 8 fights in 6 months in the amateurs. We were literally fighting most weekends, sometimes twice a week, up and down the country, left, right, and centre. But it was a lot easier to find girls at my weight. There was a lot more opportunity because obviously it's a whole country, isn't it, and beyond. So it was a lot easier to get matched, and we just went into the tournaments, the box cups, and we never looked at it as we're not here to look at our record or make a name for ourselves in the amateurs. It's a means to an end. We looked at it every time we went to an amateur fight. Sam would be like, "This is sparring. This is all it is. It's sparring. You're learning. You're getting in there with experienced girls. I've never fought a girl that's had less experience than me." And it was like win, lose or draw, we're learning. It's sparring. You don't get disheartened. You don't take nothing to heart. Amateurs is all the decisions are always a bit here, there, and everywhere. Anyway, as we all know. But it was good to get that experience in with the different girls, the different varieties, different clubs. Again, went up and down the country. So it really helped me. But it's completely different pro and amateur. Amateurs fast, quick. It's tap, 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 tap. Whereas pros, a lot of people stand the ground a bit more and they want to hurt you. Do you know what I mean? They go toe to toe in the middle of the ring and stuff. yeah, amateurs didn't like that at all, and I didn't like wearing a head guard either.
Mm.
I was very frustrated.
I know where I never like wearing a head guard. I get why they're there and stuff, but I find them uncomfortable, and to be honest, there's not a lot much damage you can do to this. It's already been done, so I was a bit like, what's the point, you know? But no, it's got, and it's kind of interesting to hear you say that about the amateurs, because I hear a lot of people say they don't like amateurs, and I know there's a lot of kind of, I don't know, not negative press around the unlicensed scene and stuff, but I have a lot to say about the unlicensed scene, is because I was a little bit, when I got started properly, I was mid-30s. And again, I'm not comparing my boxing ability or career to yours in the slightest. I was on the unlicensed scene, but it was a bit like it gives people an opportunity to go and do a bit, like where they're not perhaps a
Yeah.
bit too old for the amateur. I know you can fight on the amateurs up until you, I think it's 40. Is it 42
40, I
on the
think,
amateurs?
40-ish,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
or something like that.
something like that. But reality is, if you're in your 40s fighting on the amateurs, you're going to be fighting 21, 22-year-olds, and I was standing nothing to achieve from that. But on the unlicensed scene, it was a way to kind of just do a bit and tick off some stuff on the bucket list, So I believe it has its place. And obviously, it kind of a bit of a weird way for you going unlicensed and then amateurs. It tends to be a little bit. I know of a lot of people that go from amateurs to unlicensed, because you can actually make a bit of money in the unlicensed scene, can't you, with selling tickets? Whereas amateurs, you don't tend to make any money, and then on to the pros, where you obviously can make money as well. So yeah, no, absolutely fair play. Like, you've done it the right way. What was your record on the amateur scene, if you don't mind me asking?
So I had I think it was pretty even. I think I had won 5, lost 4. No, won 4, lost 3, something like that. It was pretty even. My first amateur fight was against a 2-time national champion.
Wow.
In Peterborough, so I was away and I won that. So I think that definitely gave me the confidence to made me believe that I'm where I need to be. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, I've had some dodgy decisions. I've had some decisions that I think, oh yeah, I probably should have edged. I think that was mine, but then I've lost some and been stopped. That was the first time in the amateurs that I've ever been stopped. I got 3 counts in 1 round. That hurt. Because I weren't hurt.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? But obviously, with amateurs, all you need is a head flicking back, and you get a count.
yeah.
Yeah, it was hard to take my first ever stoppage, because we'd gone all the way up to somewhere, I don't know. We booked an Airbnb for the weekend for a box cup tournament, and I was out on the first day. But it happens, do you know what I mean? And she was the same. She was like 3 times Welsh champion and all this lot. It's just the luck of the draw. Yeah, it was just all experience. But with that, because that was my first ever stoppage, I ended up. She was my last fight on the amateur as well before I turned over. Even their coach commended me on how much I'd come on in that short 6 months, because they see me in the final and they thought, oh, we're gonna have an easy day here. I took it to her and we went the full 3 rounds. The doctor stopped it with like 15, 20 seconds left to go because my eye came out. So the doctor stopped it. But yeah, watching my performances, comparing the two in such a short space of time, I was very proud of myself. And even all the judges was like standing ovation and stuff, because they couldn't believe how much I'd come on. So yeah, it was a good experience, the amateurs. Fought some really tough girls.
No, happy days. I mean, like I say, we talk about, look, there's some big, whether it's amateurs, whether it's unlicensed, whether it's pro, there are some dodgy decisions. And again, I kind of harp on about the fact that I think perhaps scoring systems should be a little bit changed. We're in 2025, AI and
Where's the AR? When like you can with a football match, you can watch it back, can't you? So I
exactly.
don't understand. And they've all got instant replays when they're all on these big shows. So I don't understand why
Yeah, we got
it's not
VAR
been
and stuff like
implemented a
that. So,
very long
and
time
I
ago.
can't understand, why do you not put 3 separate judges, 3 different booths, if you like, with the ability to watch it back so they can get a true reflection. They're sat at the side of the ring, all the hustle and bustle of the fight going on, looking through the ropes, looking up at the ring with the lights. It's how can you possibly get a true reflection, pro or amateur, on kind of how it really is? And I just think it's a bit of a shame, really, because we've seen, well, recent fights. Oh God, it escapes me now. One of the recent ones that really, really gripped it was the Dave Allen one, I think, against Johnny Fisher, that really got on my nerves, that one, because I had Dave Allen winning that all day and twice on Sunday. But
I think Fisher even said that he won it, that Dave won it.
exactly, and
It was.
I don't know. Sometimes I don't know how.
It makes a mockery of
It
it, though.
does, and it kind of, and what people don't understand, for a fan watching boxing, you sit there and you go, oh, well, that's just the way it is. But for someone that's put their heart and soul into training, more than anyone how much effort goes into training, how much preparation, how much you kind of dedicate your life to the run up to a show, and then to be given to someone else that's not right. It's annoying. It pisses me off, and it must piss people off like yourself as well.
Yeah, 100%. Like, I'm one of them. Like, if I've lost, I happily take that on the chin. At least I'm going to learn from it and look back and see what I can take away from that. But I'd feel a right twat if I know I'd lost and I'd got my hand raised. Do you know what I mean? I think my morals, it wouldn't sit well with me. I'd be like, well, no, I didn't win that. I won't be cheering. I won't be jumping around and like making a show of it. I'd feel quite embarrassed about it, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because I know how I'd feel if it was the other way around. Like I say, that all the hard work that someone puts in, it's not boxing is not a sport; it is a lifestyle. I can go months without seeing some of my friends and family, and like, oh, we need to catch up. But it's like I have to choose sometimes between if I only get one day off or a day and a half off a week. Sometimes I just can't be bothered to do anything. I just want to rest or go visit my sponsors and have a massage or a bit of recovery, or got to do food shop or clean up, got to fit everything in, and it's hard trying to schedule everything. Like, people don't realise it takes over your life, and for you to put all that in, for you to be blatantly robbed. If it's a close fight, fair enough. If it could have gone either way, it is what it is. It's not a robbery. But when someone's been blatantly pants down robbed, I think it's not so much in the amateurs. I thought it's not so much I can take it on the chin. We know what it's like. We go in there with that mindset. Win, lose or draw. As long as I perform well and do my best, that's all I can do. It's the kids I feel sorry for in that respect, because they're going to get robbed. They're going to take it to heart, and people would give up when they've had a few. I've seen it, like people that have had 4 or 5 bad decisions in a row and been robbed left, right, and centre, and they just think, what's the point? What am I doing it for? Well, I'm not going to get anywhere. They just keep getting robbed. It takes it out of the sport sometimes. I think that's what lets the sport down.
No, absolutely. I agree with you wholeheartedly there. It's something that hopefully moving forward that they'll get a grip of. I think because in the last couple of years, like I say, I can't name them, but I do recall watching quite a few that have been just ridiculous decisions, and there's nothing you can appeal it. People do appeal it. Nothing ever comes of it. That's it, and it's the end of it, and it's just a bit soul destroying for the fighters, I mean, and again, I'm not harping on about my unlicensed career, even though I'm immensely proud of it. I am immensely proud of it, Sasha.
Good.
I fought 14 times, but I lost once, and I knew I'd lost. There was no two ways about it. I knew I'd lost. There was no question. So I've never had a questionable decision. But if you're thinking you're way up on the scorecards and you're doing everything right to get that decision, and when someone else's hand gets raised, it's just a bit, I don't know, it kind of makes a mockery of it. Anyway, without the whole corruption of boxing, so to speak, we will move on. So yeah, you move on to the pros. First pro fight. Talk us through that.
Yeah, it was against Ivanka Inova, very experienced opponent. I would probably class her as a journeywoman, but she's a journeywoman that comes to take your head off. She comes for the win, and she's got a decent record. But yeah, the emotions and it was an absolute roller coaster. I'm not going to lie. I got nervous weeks before that fight. Sleepless nights sometimes, like, 'cause I was just playing it over in my head, and I've not even thought. Do you know what I mean? Like, Sam was like, "I could slap you silly sometimes," but you can't stop your mind, can you? Sometimes it's just what happens. He knew I'd be nervous, but he's never seen me that nervous before. But once I got in the ring, I think because I'm not sure if you watched it, but the first round I knocked her down, and within, I think it was like 30 seconds. Shocked me, shocked everyone, I think. But I think I panicked a little bit because in the amateurs, as soon as you obviously, because she went down a second time, but glove touched the floor, and I was waiting for her to get a count, but the ref was like, "No, crack on." But I hesitated. I held back because I was waiting for that ref's, because it was the amateurs. They'd be straight in there, and, like,
Standing
breaking
8
you
count
up,
or
and
whatever.
yeah, and so I think, like, I was like kind of like, well, what do I do now? And like someone's like, you should have jumped on her. You should have like gone for
So
it. Like, you probably could have finished
when
it
her
in that
glove
round.
touched the ground, was that classed as a knockdown or not? No.
No, she didn't get a second count.
But was it
No, like, 'cause
a punch landed by you that? Oh, right, okay.
I landed it over on right, and she like wobbled and touched the floor. But then was like, she didn't completely go
No,
down.
but
Do
it's
you know what I
still a
mean? But she
knockdown,
did
isn't
touch
it?
the floor. So I was just there looking at the ref, going, "Are we going to give her a count?" And he was just like, "No, box." I was like, "All right," but she was there complaining, saying I'd hit her back at head, and so it was a bit of a like kerfuffle. Do you know what I mean? I was just like, and Sam was like, "No, like, don't stop." He says, "Unless that ref told you to stop, don't stop." And I think like it's just a transition in, and obviously you just got to get used to it. But in another respect, I'm glad it didn't finish in the first round, because I'm glad I got the rounds in and got a bit more experience in the ring, and do you know what I mean? And I was able, I think, if I stopped it in the first round, I'd have had to go through all the nerves and everything again, and all that build up, and
Yeah.
like I'd be fighting for the first time again on my second one. So I think having that first one out of the way with a really tough girl, it's settled me a little bit.
Knowing that
So I'm
you
not
kind of
going into this one as
deserve to be
nervous.
in there, you kind of,
Yeah,
that's part of
yeah,
it.
exactly. Yeah, you can look back and think, yeah, I'm proud of. Don't get me wrong, there's stuff I could definitely work on, but I'm proud of my performance, and it's made me certify that I'm where I need to be, because she's the kind of person that the people will use for building up to title fights and 10 rounders, and people that want a challenge and stuff. Do you know what I mean? That are coming towards, like, it's like a gatekeeper into the title world. That opponent, yeah, to hold my own with her, and I definitely think that no, I won. I definitely said I got a few more rounds in over her. We both landed some lovely shots, so it was a fair game, and yeah, it made me realise that I'm where I need to be. I'm glad. I'm glad we're here. I'm glad we took all the step, and all the hard work was worth it.
No, absolutely, absolutely. And you've sparred some kind of, you've been sparring with some like kind of title holders, the likes of Katie Healy and the likes of. How's that been for like kind of? I think, is it Nicola Hopewell as well? How's that been for like bringing you on and kind of with their experience and stuff like that? Are you finding, without giving too much away, are you finding it like, oh, these aren't something, would you expect it to be more, or do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's obviously I'm always nervous and a bit not on edge, but always, you just don't know what's coming when you're sparring
Yeah.
someone for the first time, especially when these girls they are champions at their weight, and British champions, Commonwealth champions. Do you know what I mean? So it's a massive step up. They've got a lot more experience on me, and they've been boxing for a hell of a lot longer as well. So even if like Sam took me up there and I was getting knocked about, he wouldn't put me down for that in any way. Do you know what I mean? It's like it's all learning. Like, this is all learning, and it is like you just take away from it what you can. I mean, obviously it's a bit difficult sometimes because in my head, when I'm sparring, I think I focus more on how much I'm getting hit rather than how much I'm landing in that respect. So sometimes I think I'm doing worse than I am.
Yeah.
But no, definitely, like these girls have brought me on massively. Like to be sparring with the likes of Katie was a regular on my spars running up to my debut and stuff, and forever grateful because the style's completely different. The other girls are the sizes, the height, and the different way they box. Like it's all helped me massively. And don't get me wrong, like this was the cracking spars, like some spars that you like pay for. Do you know what I mean? Especially like from the girls from Riley's and stuff with Foxy. We have a tear up most weeks. So they become part of your friends and family as well, though. Do you know what I mean? Like it's hard, but it's like as soon as we're in the ring, it's like game on. But as soon as we're out of the ring, it's all, oh, you're right, mate. Hayden. It's good. Like they've brought me on so much, and even people comment on that. Like I haven't sparred someone for 4 or 5 months, and their coach commented last week on how much I've come on, even in that short space of time. Yeah, I'm so grateful for the opportunities. It's definitely brought me on
Yeah.
quicker,
Yeah.
if that makes sense.
It's a weird bit, isn't it? I always say to people about sparring, and people, if you're a non-boxing kind of, if you're not involved in the boxing world, sparring's weird, isn't it? And it's nerve-wracking then when you're going in. But the sense that I always found it, and I still do a bit now, not as much. I'm 45 now, and like everything's broken on me, so I don't do as much. But like the sense of coming out of sparring, when your nose aches and your eyes ache, and and sometimes your hands and your elbows ache as well. It's weird. It's like I like that feeling. I don't know how you feel about that, and it's a bit like I don't know. It's kind of I don't know what the word is. A bit. Do you know what I mean? It's like you like that kind of weird sadistic. That's the word I'm looking for. It's a bit sadistic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's not for everybody, is it?
No.
But no, I feel like I've achieved something when I come out and had a good tough bruise up. Like I think,
Yeah.
yeah, I'll go and enjoy my weekend now.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I'd walk away from most boxing gyms most weeks with a black eye. It's just one of them things. I bruise up quite easily, and you're not breaking this now. Look at the size of that. You're not doing out with that. It's already flat. So, but no. So yeah, I suppose moving on. What's next? What's next for Sasha? What's your next kind of fights coming up? And what do you want? Where do you want to be? What do you want to achieve from it? Like, honestly.
So 2 weeks today, I got my second pro fight at Rushcliffe Arena for Scott Calow Promotions, fighting Kira Carter. Looking forward to that. Getting my second one out of the way, another 6 rounder. And as far as where I want to go, do you know, like, I know I'm very aware that I've come into this game late. Like, I'm 33 now, literally turning pro at 33. It's a bit, everyone a bit like, do you know what I mean? But I worked hard for it. I feel like I'm where I need to be, and I'm holding my own in all these spars and fights and stuff like that. So I would absolutely love to obviously bring a few titles home, even like obviously starting with the Midlands and stuff like that, Commonwealth and things like that. And whether it's a dream, whether it's unrealistic, or whether it's realistic or not, we'll see. But obviously, fighting on the top shows with for the likes of world champion and WBC, obviously that'd be absolutely phenomenal. But we shall see.
We should.
All I'm going to do is take it fight by fight, and we'll go from there. But I think with my height, my size, and with me packing a good punch, I reckon I could do all right in my weight category. So we'll see. We'll
Well,
see what
you
opportunities
know
come
what,
around.
Sasha? I'm behind you. I've seen your fights. If Sam believes in you, then I believe you can do well. And look, I'd love to see you with a British title. I'd love to see you with a world title. And I think, look, I think it's down to you. I genuinely do. With your mindset, kind of with your physical attributes, your height, your weight, and everything else, I just think it will be down to you how far you want to take it. And if you want to take it all the way, I think you'll do it. And like I say, You've got Sam behind you, you've got the Lions Den behind you, and you've certainly got me behind you. And I wish you all the well in the future. Thank you very much for taking the time to come on the podcast. It has been an absolute pleasure. I will chat with you briefly off air in a second, but I'll be following your career. Look, wish you the best of luck for the future, Sasha. Thank you very much.
Brilliant, Chris. Thanks very much for your time. Honestly, it's been a pleasure, mate.
Thank you.
You look after your son.